English language learners, ELLs, are often misjudged, not because they are less intelligent or capable than their native English-speaking peers. Rather, they face the dual challenge of learning academic content while simultaneously acquiring the language needed to understand and express that content. As an analogy, even if a learner clearly understands a concept like 2 plus 2 equals 4 in their first language, they may completely miss the meaning if the same concept is presented in a language that they do not fully understand. That student might appear lost or disengaged, when in reality, the content is well within their reach. I'm Tommy Rika Miles, and this video will explore how educators can unlock that potential through 3 key strategies: scaffolding classroom discussions, using students' home languages as a resource, and explicitly teaching academic vocabulary. Scaffolding is one of the most effective ways to support ELLs. Rooted in Vygotsky's theory of the zone of proximal development, or ZPD, scaffolding involves providing structured temporary supports that help students progress from dependence on the teacher to independent comprehension and production. For example, in one lesson, students may be introduced to new vocabulary with visuals and modeling, followed by guided practice and gradual release to peer-supported tasks. Eventually, learners demonstrate their understanding independently through speaking, writing, or performance tasks. This gradual release of responsibility aligns directly with ZPD, which emphasizes learning that occurs with the help of more knowledgeable others. Scaffolding enables ELLs to reach their academic potential by building from a place of support and shared meaning. As students gain confidence and skill, the scaffolds are gradually removed, fostering independence. In short, scaffolding helps students bridge the gap between what they can do independently and what they can do with guidance. This also aligns with Long's interaction hypothesis, which emphasizes the value of students learning through meaningful interaction with others, especially through negotiation of meaning. In my own classroom, I've seen scaffolding help even the shyest learners find their voice and take part in group discussions. Next, let's talk about the home language. In Fred Genesee's article, The Home Language, an English Language Learner's Most Valuable Resource, he explains how maintaining and using a student's native language in the classroom actually supports, not hinders, their English development. In my own work at an English language training center in China, we serve students from ages 3 to 17 through full English immersion. However, immersion does not mean the student's native language must be excluded or banned. In fact, allowing students to use their home language in strategic, supportive ways enhances their learning. When learners are permitted to ask clarifying questions or support each other using their shared first language, they are more likely to understand difficult concepts, connect new information to prior knowledge, and participate confidently in classroom discussions. This support becomes even more critical for ELL students who live in environments where English dominates and their native language is rarely reinforced outside of school. In such cases, the classroom may be their only opportunity to process new academic knowledge with the help of their L1. Conversely, when students are denied the ability to use their native language, even briefly, they may experience confusion, frustration, and isolation. It can send the implicit message that their home language is not welcome, which in turn raises the emotional stakes of language learning. This idea is supported by Krashen's effective filter hypothesis, which suggests that emotional states such as stress and fear can block language acquisition. When we lower the filter by creating a safe, welcoming space where all languages are honored, we make it easier for students to engage and learn. Cummins' common underlying proficiency theory also shows that skills gained in one language can transfer to another. In short, the home language is not a barrier, it's a bridge. If we expect students to bring their full attention and energy to their academic development, we must first make a safe space for them to bring their full selves including their linguistic and cultural identities, into the classroom. Now let's talk about academic language. Cummins draws a key distinction between BICS, Basic Interpersonal Communicative Skills, and CALP, Cognitive Academic Language Proficiency. Many ELLs appear fluent because they can socialize in English, but they may still struggle with the language of academic tasks. This disconnect can be especially problematic because ELL students who appear fluent socially but underperform academically may be mistakenly perceived as lacking intelligence, or worse, misidentified as having learning disabilities. In reality, what they often lack is not cognitive ability, but access to and support in developing academic language. It falls as us to educators to ensure that our students have support not just in learning, but in learning the language of learning. This means we must teach academic vocabulary explicitly and strategically. Best practices include pre-teaching key terms with visuals, using them in context repeatedly, providing student-friendly definitions, and encouraging active use through speaking and writing. In my own lessons, I find that combining vocabulary with peer activity and discussion tasks helps students connect new words to meaningful use. Unfortunately, despite what the research tells us, many school policies still push for English-only instruction. This directly contradicts decades of evidence showing that bilingualism and home language support are associated with stronger academic performance, improved engagement, and long-term cognitive benefits. These inconsistencies between research and policy don't just limit instructional effectiveness, they contribute to real disparities. When a student's linguistic identity is ignored or suppressed, they're more likely to feel alienated, less motivated, and at risk of falling behind. In contrast, students who are encouraged to leverage their full linguistic repertoire tend to perform better and feel more confident and included. Genesee emphasizes this gap in his article, pointing to the disconnect between what educators are often told to do and what evidence actually supports. As educators, it's our responsibility to stay informed and to advocate for practices that reflect what we know works. Evidence-based instruction is not just best practice, it's a matter of educational justice. If we want to see real progress in supporting multilingual learners, we need to shift both our mindset and our practice. Let's create classrooms where students are fully welcomed, with their languages, identities, and cultures embraced. That means scaffolding intentionally, using home language as a bridge, and teaching academic language purposefully. The research is here. It's time to act on it. Let's stop seeing language as a barrier and start seeing it as one of our students' greatest strengths. Thank you for watching.